Do you get overwhelmed when trying to paint everything that the outdoors has to offer? Do you get lost trying to balance the composition, colors, values, and the ever-changing light conditions? In today's demo, we'll walk you through the process of completing a landscape painting in a beautiful German forest. And we'll touch upon some important basics such as the gear, the color palette, the general steps of completing plein air painting, with a few helpful tips along the way. When scouting out a location for your painting, there's a few things to keep in mind. Of course, you can make a painting literally out of anything, but I would suggest to first look around and think which scenes catch your eye. The second you know that something seems attractive to you, I would recommend to make a very quick thumbnail sketch right away. Keep the sketch very simple. The main goal of the sketch is to help you analyze what exactly makes the scene attractive to you. Whether it's the color, value, contrast, whether it's the shapes, whether it's the subject matter itself. Keep in mind that in the outdoors, the light changes very often and very quickly, so the thing that caught your attention might change within the next 5 minutes. Making the sketch, making the drawing, helps you to break down what exactly will make this painting work or not work. Now that you found your location, it's time to set up. So here you can see that instead of a conventional field easel, I'm using a photo camera tripod. The main reason being these types of tripods are extremely lightweight and they're also very compact. So whether you're painting around where you live or you're flying somewhere, it's very easy to take with you everywhere. Then apart from that, you can see a portable palette specifically designed for plein air painting that conveniently contains all of your oil paints and even has little slots to hold your brushes in place. Now let's talk about the color palette. Every landscape painter arranges their own color palette depending on the subject, their preferences and their needs. What I use is a fairly conventional so-called full palette with just a few extra pigments. So I use titanium white, cadmium yellow light, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium yellow dark, yellow ochre, with the reds that vary sometimes, but in general I just use cadmium medium and alizarin crimson. And then I have 3 blues: cerulean blue, ultramarine blue, and phthalo blue. So basically the majority of the palette is different saturated yellows and different saturated blues. The reason being, it allows us to mix all of the ranges of the sky colors and all of the ranges of the greens. So these are some of the brushes that I use. As you can see, it's a wide selection of various brushes. The main 2 types are hog bristle brushes. I mostly use the long filbert shape, and I also like flat brushes with long hair as well. So the type of support I use for this painting is a linen oil primed canvas. And as you can see here, the canvas is not white because it's been toned with a very thin layer of paint, which is called imprimatura. There are different reasons for doing this. For me, the main reason is it kills the white of the canvas, so it makes it easier to relate the values to each other. And with the transparent quality of oil paint, there's lots of temperature play that you can implement in your paintings this way. Okay, so first step, blocking in. Previously, when I was doing the sketching, when scouting out the location, I was mostly thinking about the composition and the placement of the main focal points within my format. So that means I already know where I want to, let's say, place the tree, I know where I want my horizon light to be, and so on. And that's exactly what I start with when I start painting. So think about the stage as the skeleton of your painting, ignore all of the unnecessary small details and focus on the big flat shapes. Once I'm happy with the blocking in, with the proportions and the positions of all of the elements, I start with the first painting layer. Try to simplify this step as much as possible, just focusing on the big masses of color and value. What makes this step much easier if we key our values. What that means is you want to put in your darkest dark and your lightest light before continuing with all of the other things. In this case, our darkest dark is present in the background and in some of the shadows, and the lightest light is the background due to the fog. So placing those values there will allow us to make much more informed decisions about the general values of the large masses. What I find helpful when painting forest sceneries is thinking about the layers as if it's a theater decoration. For example, all of the foggy information of the trees way behind, I want to paint that first and then layer the tree with the foliage on top of that. That allows me to have softer edges for the background information and have much more pronounced, sharper edges of the leaves in the front, which helps us with the sensation of aerial perspective and volume. For the finishing touches, make sure that your focal point is working, that it stands out, and we have a good understanding of atmosphere. I would recheck edges, sharpen or soften things, and maybe add more details if necessary. So before we wrap up, here are just a few tips to help you in your next plenary sessions. First of all, make sure to wear appropriate clothing. Second, I really recommend to make a sketch before you actually start to paint. Third, it is important to key your darkest darks and your lightest lights right after blocking in. And finally, keep a separate brush for the sky and a separate brush for the green while you're painting. If you would like to dive deeper into this topic and improve your landscape painting skills, check out our workshops. There is a link in the description.